If you have ever had your eyes roll all the way back in your head when someone asked you, "Have you ever tried meditating?" like it was going to solve all of your problems, then this is the show for you. This is Ex Gifted. Imagine that it's nighttime. The sky is dark. You turn off all the lights and put away all of your devices. It's quiet and peaceful, and you've finished up a nice, calming nighttime routine. You lay down in your bed, your head resting on a soft pillow. Close your eyes. Then what do you experience? Calm, relaxing serenity, right? Or how about a brain that just won't shut the fuck up? Okay, Chaos Brains, this episode is for everyone, but my ADHDers especially. I'm calling you in. Let's have a talk, because I know so many of us relate to that experience of being in the calm, quiet, presumably relaxing environment and realizing that your brain is even more distracting in the quiet. So to start, I want to note that it's actually been shown that meditation isn't always beneficial, in particular for certain people who are living with trauma. For other people, though, meditation can actually be a part of the toolkit for learning to heal from trauma. All of this is to say that I am not a mental health professional. This is not mental health advice. And meditation is not right for everyone. And if you suspect that you may fall into that category, but you still want to try it, I recommend doing it in a safe environment, such as with your therapist. And some other people just aren't interested in meditation, and that's cool too. But if you've ever just wanted to bury your head in that soft pillow and scream when someone told you to, just try meditation, as though you didn't desperately wish that meditation worked for you, then listen up. Because by the end of this episode, I hope to have planted the tiniest seed of a growth mindset for meditation with these two possibilities. One, maybe I really can learn to meditate. And two, maybe there's a type of meditation out there that can actually work for me. Okay, so you hear meditation advice. Maybe you've even tried it. Sitting quietly and uselessly attempting to empty your mind of all thoughts, and then you think that it just doesn't apply to you because of how your brain works. When you're in a quiet, comfortable space that most people think of being the prime meditation zone, that's actually when your brain turns up the loudest and starts going 100 miles a minute. So of course meditation isn't working for you, but that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your brain or that your experience is unique or unexpected. It's okay if it's hard. Sometimes people think meditation is supposed to be easy because all you have to do is sit there. And so if it's hard, then that must be a problem. But it's not a problem. It's supposed to be difficult. It's hard for everyone when they start. And another thing that people seem to think is maybe not unexpected, but at least undesirable or is a problem that needs to be solved is boredom. But it's okay to be bored. It's actually good for your mind to be bored. Boredom boosts creativity, and studies have shown that this is particularly true for the gifted folks. You can check the show notes for some research on that. So if you feel bored, that's okay. If you feel really bored, that's okay. And if you feel so bored that you think all the cells in your body might vibrate so fast that you'll just spontaneously combust if you don't jump up or check your phone, then that's okay too. Nothing has gone wrong. It's okay to be uncomfortable. And it's worth it to get used to certain kinds of discomfort because they're actually just growing pains. Sometimes people think meditation is supposed to work right away, that meditation should make you feel calm as soon as you start it, or at least that you should feel relaxed by the end of the session. But that's just not how it works for most people, not even for neurotypical people. Sitting still and quiet is uncomfortable for many people, and meditation is a practice. That's meant literally here. You have to practice it. Give it a chance and another chance. But don't worry, I've got some ways to make it much less boring and much less difficult. So, to start, I wouldn't recommend the sitting still and clearing your mind version to begin with, especially for someone with ADHD or any difficulty with racing thoughts. That is only one single kind of meditation. And there's so many kinds available to you. The ones I'm about to talk about certainly do not cover all of the options that you have. And since we live in a digital world now, there are thousands of people at your fingertips who can guide you through how to meditate. I am not one such person. I am by no means an expert meditator or, someone who does guided meditations, anything like that. That's not me. But there's an nearly unlimited number of high quality guided meditations available for free through apps such as Insight Timer or even just on YouTube. There are guided meditations to improve focus or reduce anxiety, and probably just about anything you can imagine. If you haven't heard of it before, a guided meditation is just what it says on the tin. Instead of sitting in silence and being expected to know what to do and to actually just notice on your own when your mind has started wandering away from your breathing or onto whatever thing it is that you're procrastinating or perseverating currently, you listen to an audio track that just tells you what to do, when to breathe, what to visualize, if anything, and gives you reminders to release any thoughts that come to you. Some also include progressive muscle relaxation, which takes you through tightening and releasing the muscles in each part of your body in a sequence, so you always know exactly what you're supposed to be focused on. What was most helpful for me, though, when I started doing guided meditations is that they often also remind you that it's okay if your mind wanders. I actually didn't realize that until the first time I did a guided meditation. I thought the goal was supposed to be 0 stray thoughts for the time I was sitting there, and that each time my mind wandered, I lost a point or something. Brains. Instead, guided meditation taught me to allow my thoughts, but just to not become attached to them. So I visualize my thoughts as clouds in the breeze floating past, or sometimes I imagine tying each thought to a helium balloon as I become aware of it and just letting go of the string so it drifts up and away and out of sight. It's okay, it's only an imaginary balloon. Now, another one of my favorites is walking meditation. And there are guided meditations that are specifically meant to be walking meditations. They're about taking careful, conscious steps. I've tried them before and I don't love them, but if you're interested, then that's certainly an option for you. What I do like, though, is listening to just any regular guided meditation track and just walking while I do the practice. So let's back up just a little bit. And I want to say that there are probably some of you listening who are like, yes, I can do this without having to sit in one place. That's the best. And there are probably others who are on the opposite side of the spectrum thinking, no, I don't want to do it if I have to stand up from the couch. I'm one of the latter. I've always been a very sedentary person, and I've always been what you might call one of the indoor kids. Like, when it was time for recess, I wanted to just stay inside with a book while all the other kids ran around and played tag or climbed on the monkey bars. I was the same as a teenager and in college, and even now they say I'm a full-on adult, but I'd rather stay inside on the couch or cuddle up in bed than have to actually move my body. So when I have seen people talk about how great exercise is for breaking through brain fog or gaining mental clarity, I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that's totally true for people like you who actually like moving and enjoy exercise, but I don't like it. It doesn't feel good for me during, after, or in the long term. But y'all, that was before I discovered the walk and talk. I know I'm not really saying anything new. Lots of people already know about this, but I just learned it. So in case you haven't already learned it, let me tell you. Basically, I just go out for a walk by myself around the neighborhood and I just record myself talking. And there's absolutely no better way for me to focus my thoughts on something. It's how I write the script for every single podcast episode now. And it's also perfect for doing meditation. Open up just about any guided meditation session, although do stay away from something with progressive muscle relaxation because you can't really do that while walking. And just go through it while you walk. It still hasn't made me like exercising or enjoy moving my body, but it has definitely changed how I view walks. Taking a walk is now one of my very first go-tos when I need to clear my mind or the brain fog has gotten really bad. I never thought that I would say that, but now if my mind starts to feel fuzzy, I'm like, look, I just need to get out of the house and take a walk for a minute. And I never thought I would be that person. 10 out of 10, do recommend. On the other hand, if you need an option for sitting still, I've said it before and I will probably say it again and again, journaling can also be a meditative experience. And it actually works largely the same way as the walk and talk, but each option has its advantages. Whereas walking helps me to clear the brain fog, it's hard to actually organize my thoughts unless I can really see them right in front of me. So that's why I'm always saying to write everything down. Now, journaling in general is by necessity a mindful process. It requires you to reflect and be present with your experiences, but I like to use it to dig deeper into a single thought or idea I've been working on if you've listened to the show before. I've explained that I like to write out a topic at the top of a sheet of paper and then just write literally anything and everything I can think of about that thought. Call it a brain dump or a thought download or whatever you want. Just get every single thought from your head onto your paper. Meditation does not have to be about a quiet mind. Sometimes it's about a mind that's talking plenty, but about a specific topic that you want. This is, of course, also true for the walking and talking that I mentioned earlier. It's using a meditative practice not to avoid thinking at all, but to guide your focus in the direction you want it to go. Now, either of these choices is perfect for anyone whose minds just won't slow down. In fact, it works in your favor. Your mind won't shut up. That's great. Write it down. If it goes too fast to write it all down, that's fine. Just get as much of it as you can. But really, here's the thing. Meditation doesn't even have to look like any of those things that I just talked about. You don't even have to adopt any new practices at all. But you may need to tweak your technique because meditation can also look like washing the dishes or like gardening or like woodworking or making art. Focused or mindful journaling is great for diving deeper into a specific topic, but mindful action is amazing for clearing your mind or gaining clarity. Mindful action really just refers to doing something simple that doesn't require a lot of mental effort. Most of the time, many of us distract ourselves from these things with TV or audiobooks or podcasts or whatever we can to just get through the task. I not only do that myself, but I often recommend it. If you find that you just can't seem to get started on dishes, then yeah, turn on a podcast and pay attention to that instead of the dishes. I stand by that as a productivity tip. However, if you take these simple tasks and actually just put all of your focus on them, on the physical sensations, and on the motions of your hands, then it grounds you in the here and now. And that's when it can actually help to settle and clear your mind. What works particularly well here is simple, repetitive motions, something like knitting or even fidgeting. I love a Rubik's Cube or, I was going to say one of those, but I forgot that some of you are on video. One of these like wooden puzzles, these kinds of things. I love those kinds of things for meditating, but any kind of mindful action can act as meditation to help clear your brain and keep you in the present moment. Just pay attention to the action and the movements of your hands. And just like with any other meditation, be kind to yourself when your mind wanders, because it will. And just carefully and quietly bring your focus back to your 5 senses. So remember that meditation is a practice. It's not supposed to work immediately. It's not supposed to be easy. The more you work on it, the easier it will become and the more you'll gain from it, because in the end, that's what this is really about. You deserve to benefit from your own focus. And I hope I've planted a seed today from which a meditative practice of some sort might sprout. Whatever you do, keep growing. Okay, before I go, I'm sorry I didn't have an episode up last week. I've been sick since my last episode came out, and although I tried to get this one out in time, I realized I was just working myself sicker. I'm still not back to 100%, but I'm feeling much better and taking things slower, so the extra week really helped a ton. Thanks for being so understanding. The last thing is to let you know that there's still spots in the quest for chaos, so go sign up at ko-fi.com/Reneliza. It's completely free with purchase of the role-planning system, but only until the group fills up. If you don't know, the Quest for Chaos is an adventuring party I'm putting together in order to slay some goals in 2022. The first group runs from January through the end of March, and our quest will be the search for the perfect planner habit. You'll work with me one-on-one and in a small group on Discord in order to build a planner habit that works with your needs. And of course, we'll talk about how to vary it when you need to inject some novelty. If you've ever wanted to learn how to use a planner every day and you think having your own real-life GM could help with that, then go visit my shop at ko-fi.com/Reneliza and buy the role-planning system and get the Quest for Chaos for free for 3 months. But remember that because of all the individual attention, I'm only taking 13 people total in the quest, so go claim your spot now. And one final thing, just for those of you who stuck it out to the end, when I was writing up my script for this episode, this thought occurred to me that when all of the other distractions seem to go, I realized that my mind likes to talk at me then the loudest and fastest, because if it ever were to shut up, then I might have to actually feel something instead. Just something to think about. Anyway, join me again in 2 weeks to have some more discussion about your growth mindset. Until then, bye.